Brian?
Yeah. I appreciate Carly and all the work she's doing, talking to media orgs and getting our opinions on these things. Nobody really asks us when they're redoing the budget. I know a lot of you have never served on the media org. You don't know how much printing costs in the area, what the difference between high-bright is and non-high-bright, color, etc. So, you know, I'm glad that she was like a liaison. I'm trying to get better at this from us. I'm glad that she so generously added in another $14 to make our cap that much higher, a nice even number. But, as we've said over and over again, $450 is just probably the bare minimum that organizations could use to put out a paper. I think the California Review puts out the low quality, like they're on the low end, so they'd be able to continue printing with media organizations such as the MQ and anyone else who gets funding or wants to print more than one issue per quarter at minimal rates and minimal production is going to need more than $450, and they're going to need to get that from somewhere. And unless it's AS, I don't know where that would be. You guys want to mandate fundraising, as you said, fundraising is hard outside. I just want to reiterate, I don't know how your budget works, and I don't know why you can't pull from AS mandates, I'm sure, or the leftovers. I'm sure you guys have your reasonings. But just going down this list of all the $13,000, $9,000, $5,000, $320 things we're going to other organizations, and why we're nickeling and diming media orgs by adding another $14 to the budget cap and giving each one $450, it just seems a little unfair. I mean, we're taking such a steep cut. We started off last year, we had 60,000-ish for the entire year. I understand that we need to reduce that for the budget, and then I understood that we dropped that down to 38,000, of which we spent too much, and then it got down to 12,000, and Andrew Yang took off another 1,000 for something which I don't understand, but I'm sure I'll talk to you later about that. So, you know, it's just, why media orgs? I know you guys can answer the question. I'm just saying that of all the media, all the other funding things I see in this paper here, nobody's bringing up why people can just get allocated funding for any event, but media orgs, when it comes to printing papers, for some reason we take the blunt of cuts, and I think that's just unfair. And that the caps, somehow, somewhere, 450, we could scrape by. We're going to have to make cuts, but next year for sure needs to be raised, and there needs to be an item in legislation that notes that 450 is almost unacceptable.
Carly?
Can I be added to the speaker list?
What's your name?
Kristen.
Alright. Carly. Okay, just to clarify, for the spring quarter, yes, almost $26,000 was allocated, but it's because we didn't have any restrictions on media. So we have the means to say yes, but no means to say no. Hopefully y'all can understand that. If not, please come talk to me afterwards. I'm not going to get into the logistics of that. But we basically almost fully funded media organizations, which is not what we do for programming. And I kind of just like to touch on your point. Thank you for the respect. And we basically, as a council, during the budget meeting, reprioritized student org programming. So we added that money because we over-allocate in programming every year, and we decided as a council that programming was going to be prioritized essentially over media for this year. So the main argument is that we have $11,000. We can't pull anything from mandate, as we learned last week. I'm just kidding. But really, we don't have anything. We can't do anything with mandate. Like, we can't touch it anymore because otherwise we're screwed. So, we have $11,000. I'm not going above it. I know the $450 cap is ridiculous. I took $11,000 from that $12,000 for the campus department sponsorship because I looked at a lot of models that provide that type of incentive. And when I had my forum on Monday, a lot of the student organizations were up for incentives for additional funding. Some weren't, I understand that, but a lot of people I talked to, I didn't receive any emails after that, just a little bit of concern. So I went with that. I'll be working on forums and talking to the departments in terms of like what that sponsorship means, but you'll get additional funding for that. It's unfortunate that these caps had to be established with $12,000. It would have been a lot easier with $45,000, I agree. But we don't have $45,000. But the system will work effectively. As another respectable member of public input said, she was also at the forum. She said, I don't know if this is just to like kill off media organizations or to actually have a plan. And these caps and this criteria, I do have a plan. I hope it gets reinstituted after, but with different numbers. I mean, that's basically looking at the big picture. That's all I have to say, really.
Just like to remind council to talk about the amendment,
Oh,
specifically about
The amendment
Nancy
doesn't work.
Hartley. So if you want to call the question on the amendment, that's really cool.
call the question.
All right, there's been a call to question on the amendment that reads.
Carly has it. Please return. Thank you. It reads, a maximum of $900 to be allocated per media org for the remainder of the 2010-2011 school year, not going above 11,000.
All right, so is everybody clear that we're just voting on the amendment?
I'm going to definitely call the question.
Your objection is, all right, we're now going to vote on whether or not to vote. So, this is just for the amendment, not the item as a
Point
whole.
of personal privilege, can you put the new updated legislation that I sent you here?
Who sent it to me?
I think I sent it there.
Okay. Okay, so we're going to vote on the amendment, or vote on whether or not to vote. All in favor of the call to question, please raise your hand. This is the vote to vote. Please no talking during voting. All opposed? Any abstentions? All right, the vote was 17 to 3. That amendment, does not pass. The vote to call the question passes, so we're now going to vote on the amendment. So, all in favor, please raise your hand.
Point of information, is there any way to do what that guy said and let the rest of their money that they were already done or whatever roll over and add that in the amendment before we vote? If that makes any sense.
Yields, Carly.
For the fall,
Yeah.
no.
Sorry.
Okay, we're going
But
to
also, a point of clarification, so if we vote on this, what?
We're going straight to a vote.
Okay,
So it's on the amendment. Just raise your hand if you're in favor for it. Ready, go. Oh, we're kind of hearing the amendment.
A maximum of $900 to be allocated per media org for the remainder of the 2010-2011 school year, not to exceed 11,000.
Wait, what?
That's on the bottom here. I'm just reading what's on here.
That's not.
okay, I'm gonna read the rules. So if we vote on that, then we're not gonna have enough money and there's gonna be no funding for new media organizations and we're still gonna be going over by
All right, Carly, we're going
$600.
to a vote. Is that a word? Carly, that's your first warning. All right. I can't kick people out. All right, we're going to a vote. Raise your hand if you're in favor of the amendment. All right.